Stella Sora's been out for a few months. Now that the game has had some time to simmer, let's take a step back and answer the question. How F2P friendly is the game really? Though, we really need to clarify, what does it mean to be F2P friendly? Is it the ability to clear endgame content and receive maximum rewards? Or is it about acquiring your favorite waifus at a reasonable rate? We'll focus on the latter, as the current endgame is not too demanding, or even too impactful on income. For information about the gacha and monetization model, refer to my previous video where I explain the math and common misconceptions. The TLDR is that the gacha has two pities: a spark system that doesn't carry over between banners and allows you to claim the rate-up character after 120 pulls, and then a hard pity that guarantees the rate-up character every 160 pulls, with this counter carrying over in between. Disclaimer: the following calculations will be projections based on the current patch history of the game. Numbers and event rewards may change in the future. All the calculations also ignore any pulls that are given away sporadically, which currently is about 50 pulls from celebrations, compensations, etc. As of late December 2025, there's a total available 91,000 Stellanite dust from permanent content, as well as 30 limited pulls, with almost 38k dust coming from Menace Arena and 3.5k from tracker-specific sources. There's a good chunk that most people won't be able to unlock all of, at least not for a long time. Let's do a low estimate and say that out of all the permanent dust available, players only obtain half of it in total. We'll use a simple exponential model to mock up the rate at which players acquire this currency. Let's say they get 25% of it during their first patch of playing, and then half of that during the next patch, and then half of that in the following month, etc., adding up to 50% of the total permanent pool. Of course, this permanent pool will slightly increase over time as new stories, trackers, and content get added to the game. Each new tracker you acquire grants up to 195 currency, with a guaranteed 50 from the tracker tryout regardless if you pull them or not. Each new story chapter rewards a total of 500 dust. And with 2 new chapters added to the game since launch, this averages to 1 chapter per 2 patches. There's also the Nova Times, which has had 5 updates over the past 4 versions, granting an additional 90 dust each. We'll average this at once per version. This totals to 390 additional permanent currency per patch, with a conditional bonus of 195 if you pull a unit or not. As for renewable income, we'll start with each patch's event. These give a total of 3,200 currency between the battle stages, minigames, and story, along with 5 blue tickets. Every other patch, we also get a bonus event that gives another 1,500 dust. Outside of events, there are also several recurring challenges. Cataclysm grants a total of 620 dust and has been averaging 1 reset per new patch. Boss Splits grants 1,300 dust and resets every other patch. The Finale Echoing event grants a massive 2,200 dust, but we're only about to receive our first rerun of it, so we'll average it to be once per 4 patches. Of course, you can't have a patch without having maintenance, which we are sent 450 dust for as well. This brings the per patch total additional income to 27.5 pulls. What about time-based income? dailies grant 100 dust, and the newly added weeklies grant 500. Every month, there's 100 dust from daily login, as well as 3 pulls from the shop. With a new patch every 2 weeks, you'll be gaining around 37 pulls per patch. Before we can examine how this income holds up against the gacha rates, we'll need to define some different gacha pulling behavior. First is a Responsible Waifu Enjoyer. This player knows that bad luck can strike at any time, and will only pull on banners if they have enough to guarantee the unit. They also only care about the base unit, and will not put in any more pulls to acquire duplicates unless the spark is within 10 pulls away. Next is the Power Chaser. Efficiency is key for these players. They will only pull when they can fully spark a unit, regardless of where their hard pity is at. Any dupes that they get along the way are a bonus. Finally, the Gambler. We all have a friend like this. This player can't control their savings at all. The second they get their hands on any pulls, they're sending them. Until they hit the character, that is. Now we'll run a million simulations of several banners with each behavior, and look at graphs that show the percentage of these simulations that successfully acquired a character or her duplicates on any given banner. Let's start out with the Responsible Waifu Enjoyer. The one-time injection of pulls leads to the first several banners having a very high acquisition rate. The first banner is guaranteed, 95% obtain the second banner character as well, and 76% will obtain the third. Notice there is a slight rebound effect due to players who had to spark one banner getting an early pull in the next, due to the separate hard pity system that carries over. Of course, there's always that probability of hitting the unit right before spark, and reset the hard pity, which is why there's this line of players that hit the first talent due to finishing their spark. By the 10th banner, this will mostly stabilize, and the Responsible Waifu Enjoyer can expect to be pulling on around 61% of banners, guaranteed to hit the character they want. Adding in the monthly pass, which has recently been increased to grant 150 dust a day, boosts this to 73%. What about the Power Chaser? By only ever sparking units and continuing to pull until spark, these players will only be able to pull roughly once every 4 banners. However, when they do pull, 34% of players will pull 1 dupe and hit talent 1. 25% will receive 2 dupes. 12% will receive 3. And 4% will receive 4. And the lucky 1.5% will receive a fully maxed out unit. Is this power worth getting less units though? That's for you to decide. Finally, the Gambler. By freely pulling whenever, regardless of if you have enough to guarantee or not, you can expect to acquire the rate-up character on 47% of banners, or 57% with the monthly pass. That's surprisingly not so bad, considering you're essentially never going to spark any banner beyond the first like this. Notice that the acquisition rate integral is actually a bit higher than that of the responsible behavior. I guess gambling does pay off when you have a good amount of starting pulls, though ultimately it leads to a lower acquisition rate on average. To summarize, depending on your pulling behavior, if you're focusing on acquiring units and not caring for duplicates, you can expect to get the rate of character on 47 to 61% of banners. Subscribing to the monthly pass bumps up these figures to an estimated 57 to 73%. If you want to pull for power and go for a full spark every time, you'll be pulling every 4 banners on F2P income. But you'll have a decent shot at getting multiple talents unlocked. We're currently 5 banners into Stella Sora. With these calculations, 47% of F2P responsible players will have all 5 limited characters, and 60% of gamblers will have all 5. Power chasers will have fully sparked 2 units and be on the verge of a 3rd. Though realistically, most people have already sparked 3 times due to miscellaneous freebies that aren't counted towards these calculations. So, what do you think of these numbers? And how has your luck been? I've been getting quite lucky with the banners. So, I have a T3 Chitose and every other limited character, while still sitting on 62k dust. All without rerolling or spending. Sorry. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!